Hello friends, this video on sexual reproduction in flowering plants part 2 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So now we will quickly discuss about the important parts of a flower in little more detail. So any flower has 4 whorls which are arranged one after another. So just how I told you about the different sections or the different parts of the flower. But now what we'll see is overall we can divide a flower into 4 whorls. What are whorls? We will see it very soon. So what are those 4 whorls? The first one is calyx. That is the whorl which is made up of all the sepals, the green colored leaf-like small structures. So if you actually look at a flower, you will see that it makes a circle. So in a circle, the small leaflets are arranged, right? So that whorl which is made up of sepals is known as the calyx. The next whorl is corolla, which is made up of the petals. So if you see, the petals are also arranged in a circular fashion. So even in a flower like rose, you actually see it's like a concentric circle. So it is something like this. The petals are arranged in this fashion. Next is the androecium, where it talks about the stamens. So the stamens, all the stamens together, they are also in a circular fashion, and this whorl is known as the androecium. And finally gynoecium, that is for the female reproductive part, which is located at the center. So gynoecium is basically the innermost whorl, right? And calyx is the outermost whorl. So these are the 4 whorls. So calyx is made up of the sepals, corolla is made up of the petals, androecium is made up of the stamens, and gynoecium is made up of the carpel. Right? So these 4 whorls together form a flower. Now let us talk about each of these whorls quickly. So calyx. It is the outermost whorl and it is made up of the sepals. So each member individually is called sepal, and the entire whorl of sepals is called calyx. It is green in color. So as you would have seen, that it doesn't matter what color the flower is, the petals are, but the sepals are mostly green in color. They protect the bud which later becomes a flower. That is what I was talking about some time back. That the most important role of the sepals is when the flower is not yet formed. So it is a bud. So that is when it provides a lot of protection. So when you talk about the calyx, again they are, depending upon the type of sepals, they are of 2 types. That is gamosepalous and polysepalous. So what does that mean? Now gamosepalous, this means that the sepals are all joined to each other. So if you look at the structure of the sepals here, you see they are all joined to each other. So that is why the China rose is said to have a gamosepalous calyx. That is, all the sepals are connected to each other. Whereas in polysepalous, poly means many. So there are many individual sepals, as you can see in a rose. So if you see a rose flower, you would see that the sepals are all individual. Each sepal is not attached to the other. So that is said to be polysepalous. Next is corolla. So it is the whorl just before calyx. So inner to calyx. The members are termed as petals, and these are brightly colored. So it can be red, green, blue, yellow, anything. And that what makes the color of a flower. We often say that the flower is red in color. So basically it is not the entire flower. It is not that all the parts of the flower are red in color. The petals, since the petals are big and noticeable enough, therefore the color of the petals actually in a way depicts the color of the flower. Now, their bright color attract insects which help in pollination. Now, pollination is extremely important for sexual reproduction. We will talk about pollination a little later. So, this attractive colors attracts a lot of insects towards it. They are again of 2 types, gamopetalous and polypetalous. So when you say gamopetalous, that means all the petals are connected to each other. As you can see here, you see the individual petals cannot be distinguished. But if you look at a rose, you can actually remove one individual petal. So all the petals are like individual. They are not connected to each other. So that is polypetalous. The third one is the androecium, which is again located inner to corolla, and this is the members of androecium are the stamens, that is the male reproductive part of the flower. So androecium is the whorl which contains the male reproductive organ of the flower. So it is the male reproductive organ. So if you look at the structure of a stamen in detail, so each of these structure, each single stamen would look somewhat like this, which from one side, and this is the view from the other side, and this one is the top view or the view of a cross section of the top part of the stamen. Now I will not discuss about these structures because we are going to do that a little later. So we will study things step by step. So now you just understand the four whorls. And finally the fourth whorl, that is gynoecium, which is the innermost whorl, and it represents the female reproductive organ, and the members are called carpel. So this is the gynoecium, the central one. So it contains the carpel and it is the female reproductive organ. So this is how it looks like. So again we will study about the structure of this carpel also. It is the female reproductive organ. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online test, get free study material, find tutors and mentors. Thank you once again.